Hello again, Kingston Town Administrator Keith Hickey with the latest edition of This Week in Kingston for the week ending April 25th, 2025. Big weekend this weekend with an annual town meeting. We'll get into that in a second, but just to give everybody a sense of what went on at the April 22nd Board of Selectmen meeting, there was a public hearing to allow or consider allowing, I guess I should say, Eversource to put 3 new telephone poles within the right of way on Marion Drive. That was approved by the Board of Selectmen. There was a request to change the offices on an existing liquor license at Regal Cinemas, more of a housekeeping type item, so that was approved. We had a public hearing to consider the request of Timber Ridge and Sequoia Drive's desire to have their roads be accepted as town roads. It's a fairly new subdivision. There is no work that needs to occur up there, so the board approved allowing them to move forward. The next step for them is to have 90% of the property owners up in that subdivision agree to pay the cost of an estimated $5,000 or less to have the necessary paperwork completed to bring forward to potentially as soon as a fall town meeting for consideration to approve those roads. We had a property owner in town who was able to purchase a property through a lottery system through affordable housing. They are looking to refinance their houses. One of the requirements is to have Board of Selectmen approval. So the board approved that. We had our shellfish constable come to the board to finalize the razor clam licensing. The board agreed to reduce the license numbers from 11 to 12 licenses issued on an annual basis, not have a minimum catch requirement, and continue to have a $300 fee associated with that. And I'm sorry, it wasn't 10 licenses they approved, it's 9. The police chief has requested the board to authorize him to advertise, if needed, a lateral transfer, to appoint a police officer through lateral transfer. What that means is we have 2 current police academy employees. They need to go through the academy and get passed through the police academy. If they graduate from the police academy, we're all set. We don't need to have a lateral transfer. If one of them, for some reason, does not pass through the police academy, we have the ability to advertise and potentially hire a licensed police officer from another community. Oftentimes that doesn't happen, but to try to expedite the hiring of a police officer, so we can get an officer at the school resource officer at the middle school, as quickly as we possibly can. We're going to utilize the lateral transfer for another police department if there's a police officer interested, and the 2 candidates that we have now don't graduate. The fire chief brought forward a request to extend the current contract of the deputy fire chief for 1 year. The board approved that. We approved the licenses for bowling and billiard tables. And the last item that we talked about, I'm sorry, not the last item, one of the last items we talked about was establishing a firing range for the police department on town property. That location would be behind the existing transfer station and wastewater facility on town property. The board was interested in doing this, but asked to have a public hearing, so anybody who may live in the area can come in and voice their concern. The state requirements are that this firing range has to be at least 500 feet from the closest residence. It is. The closest residence is just over 500 feet from it. There will be you'll be able to hear the noise from the gunshots, certainly when they're doing their training. So we want to make sure that people are aware of that. There'll be a public hearing at the the next meeting in early May for anybody who's concerned to come in and voice their concern about that. So we would hope anybody who's got an issue would be able to stop by either in person or virtually, or just send an email to either myself or the Board of Selectmen, sharing whatever concerns you may have. And those will be considered and discussed, and a final decision will be made by the board at their early May meeting. They had a consideration to allow early voting for the town election. The board voted not to approve that. If anybody cannot make the town election on May 17th, he certainly can come into the townhouse and ask to be ask for an absentee ballot. The town clerk's office will be happy to try to help you out with that and get that squared away. So that should not detain anybody or negate anybody from being able to vote. So please try to come in and vote if you can. The board also approved posting the warrant for the May 17th election as well. Lastly, we had 6 one-day liquor licenses for the 42nd Parallel Brewing Company to attend and serve alcohol at the Grays Beach Music Nights that'll be held throughout the summer. So the board also approved that. But there were some donations to the Council on Aging and to the Animal Control. We want to thank everybody who donated for those donations. Very, very generous. And we appointed a wastewater laborer. So that was the discussion we had and the meeting items that we had for the April 26th meeting. The bigger meeting we have going on, obviously, is our annual town meeting on Saturday, the 26th, 9 o'clock at the middle school. I think it's important, obviously, for people to try to attend if they can. Starts at 9 o'clock in the morning. We had to have a quorum of 125 people. And I'm sorry, I said the middle school. It's the intermediate school. I apologize. 65 Second Brook Road. We have 31 articles. About a third of those are going to be are proposed for a consent agenda. Many more of those will be discussed and voted on individually. Some of the articles that I think will have a lot of discussion, or some discussion anyways, maybe the general fund operating budget, certainly. The leaching field debt reallocation, the sewer department is asking in Article 6 to have a third of the debt they have for the new leaching field be paid for by the general fund. So that may garner some discussion. And the sewer department budget again may garner some discussion as well. One of the items that I think will also be discussed is a proposal to bring forward and establish a public works department for the town. What that would do is hire a department head, a public works director that would oversee solid waste, streets, trees, and parks, the sewer department, and the water department. The roles of the sewer and water commissioners would be reduced, certainly not eliminated, but reduced, so they would no longer be responsible for the day-to-day operations of the water and sewer department or the water and sewer staff. Those would be the responsibility of the water and sewer superintendents working for the public works director rather than the water and sewer commissioners. The thought behind that primarily is just it's in many people's minds a better way of doing business, allows us to work together closer, allows one group of people to make decisions rather than having to rely on 3 separate elected boards in many cases. So it's a more collaborative approach with of the ability to have decisions made on a much more timely basis. So hoping people can support that. It is a change. The water and sewer commissions would still be in place. They'd be establishing rates. They'd be working with the public works director to establish long-term capital needs, establishing policy, things of that nature, but would not be responsible for the day-to-day operations anymore. So that'll be, I'm sure, discussed at length. And from my hunch, those are the big topics probably for the town meeting discussion. And we hope people are able to come. Like I said, it starts at 9 o'clock in the morning, and it'll take as long as it takes to get done. Hoping it moves along. It always does with our moderator. And so if you have some time, it's supposed to rain. So if you're planning on going to a kid's game, that may be canceled because of the weather. So hopefully you can um, stop by and spend some time and express how you feel and through your voting or through comments that you're going to make. So it should hopefully be a very successful, well-attended town meeting. We hope you're able to be there. If you have any questions prior to Saturday, please feel free to reach out. We have a tremendous amount of information online that should be able to help provide some backup information, supporting information, and explanations as to why things are being requested. If you have any questions after you read through that information, please let me know. I'll be happy to try to answer it for you. But other than that, I hope to see everybody on Saturday. Thanks very much for watching. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you again next week.